A few days ago, Crusader Kings 3 got announced, and with the announcement came a whole slew of articles. One of said articles was from Rock Paper Shotgun. Not a great journalistic site, I know, but it is where they gave the interview, and it still matters about when it comes to what it will be in the game, hence why I read it. It was going normal until paragraph 6. In the years since CK2's release, Deus Vult, an 11th century Crusader battle cry, has become a vile meme and beloved of racists on the internet. I asked how Paradox community team felt about this and was told empathetically that words will not appear in Crusader Kings 3. That's refreshing, but in a game set during a time of conflicts fetishized by modern fascists, it's the tip of the iceberg. I'll be writing more about how Paradox are handling the political sensitivities of making a game about the Crusades and how they're handling the representation of non-European cultures in the weeks to come. This is quite concerning. Crusades are an integral part of Crusader Kings, as you could imagine, and every religion has its own version. Is jihad gone too? What about words like Allahu Akbar? While we have negative associations with them, they literally mean a struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam and God be with you. And as you can imagine, Middle Ages were rather religious. Quite obviously, there was a big uproar on both Paradox forums and Steam forums, and the uproar is still going. As far as I can see, it's being silenced a little bit. Some topics are getting closed by moderators. A lot of Deus Vult topics will be closed by the time I check again, because they always are, but somebody else comes back in and expresses their own opinion again. My biggest issue with the censoring of words is that 90% of Crusader Kings 2 is not politically correct. I always play Crusader Kings because it was brave in its brutality. I was able to take concubines, trade my daughters for country relations, execute my wives, steal life force of my children, seduce a horse as a lunatic, make inbred babies, participate in every religious crusade imaginable, expel the Jews, have orgies while part of a satanic cult. Does that sound politically correct to you? Because to me it doesn't. So if we're removing Deus Vult because we think that alt-right fascists of this game are using it, then how many other things are we removing? I mean, we have sexism, we have racism in the game, we have all sorts of phobias. We're most definitely not nice towards Jews, no matter you're playing as Christians or Muslims. None of that is a good thing, and none of that will be something that's tolerated in the 21st century, yet in a medieval game it works, and it should be there. So what else they removed? How bland will Crusader Kings 3 be? And I feel like I really need Paradox to come out and to say exactly what they removed and what they kept. Because if they removed the brutality, this is coming from a girl that's mostly playing Sims. Would have mostly been playing Sims until The Sims 4 sucked. But this is coming from a girl that's not really a strategist that fell in love with Crusader Kings 2 because of their brutality of life and the way that they portray life, and the fact that life simulators do not dare to portray this. They wouldn't dare to portray disability, they wouldn't even dare to portray mental illness, and lunatic, they would say, is a very offensive word. Heck, The Sims 4 had lunatic word cut from it. So no matter what they do, unless they censor 90% of the game, they're not gonna appease the audience that they're trying to appease. So my question is, did they cut 90% of the game? Could Paradox come out and tell me exactly what they removed and what they kept?